Alright, so first let's start with the emergence of psychology without wasting any time. ठीक है? Time waste करे बगैर हम start करेंगे emergence of psychology के साथ and we will do the 5 most important topics. So the first one we will talk about the path in Hinduism, actually in Advait Vedanta. ठीक है? But उससे पहले the most important topic here is the Sankhya philosophy. I will also be sharing the notes to this class either on my क्या कहते हैं इसको community page. If I'm not able to do it over there, I will just send it to everybody. ठीक है? तो संख्या philosophy सबसे important है. Last year also they have asked you a question and they keep asking. All right? What is this संख्या philosophy? Let's try to talk about it. You can tell me what all you know about it. ठीक है? तो ये हिंदुइज्म की बेसिक फिलॉसफी है जहां पे हम डुअलिज्म को फॉलो करते हैं. वी फॉलो डुअलिज्म वेयर वी से दैट द ह्यूमन बीइंग is made up of two things. Okay, dualism में दो entities क्या है हमें? We have the Purusha, which is our true soul, which is the true being, and then we also have the Prakriti. Prakriti is the environment, Maya, सब कुछ, everything. Okay, all right, very very good. Purush and Prakriti. पुरुष एंड प्रकृति बोथ आर इटर्नल. इटर्नल का मतलब है दोनों में से ना कोई अभी बना है ना कोई डिस्ट्रॉय होगा, उसी का मतलब है इटर्नल. एंड दैट द जीव दैट वी आर, जो जीव होता है जो अविद्या की स्टेट में होता है, दैट इज मेड अप ऑफ द पुरुष एज वेल एज द प्रकृति. ओके, तो जीव को क्या करना है? इट स्लोली हैज टू डिटैच फ्रॉम प्रकृति, डिटैच फ्रॉम प्रकृति and then slowly move on to becoming the purush. ठीक है? Slowly become purush. जब ये पुरुष बन जाएंगे, this will be the state of vidya. Can I say that? Purush is also the same as Atman. Okay? What is Atman? Atman is basically the microcosm. In the sense, ये cosmic energy है. Very, very good. All right. Now, this Atman is also just metaphysical energy which is actually present or which is actually a part of the universe or the Brahman. Okay, the creator. ठीक है? Okay. Are we clear here? So if somebody asks you Sankhya philosophy is monistic or dualistic, it's dualistic. इस बार आपको question पूछा था पुरुष and prakriti पे, Sankhya philosophy ये answer था. Correct? Now can I say Patanjali's yoga is based on this, and the majority of Hinduism philosophy related to Hinduism is also based on this, except for Advait. ठीक है? Advait Vedant के बगैर जो भी Hinduism की philosophy है, majority Sankhya philosophy पे based है. Okay? What was I saying? Patanjali's yoga is also based on Sankhya philosophy. Okay. All right. ठीक है. Fine. That is our topic number 1. Topic number 2 will be path in Advait Vedanta. Okay, path to conscious or levels of consciousness in Advait Vedanta. What are the levels of consciousness in the Advait Vedanta? आपको 2 years, 3 years actually consistently you have been asked. Okay, all right. Tell me. I'm going to wait. Levels of consciousness क्या है Advait Vedanta में बताइए. All right. So we have 4 levels of consciousness. You have the Jagrata Avastha. Okay. ओके शिखा, चलिए. ऑल राइट, चलिए मैं हिंदी में भी कर दूंगी आपके लिए, कोई बात नहीं. चलो ठीक है, अच्छे से रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. हाँ जी, इसके बाद क्या आता है? आफ्टर दिस यू हैव द स्वप्नवस्थ. ओके, आफ्टर दैट यू हैव द प्रज्ञवस्थ. एंड फाइनली वी हैव द तुर्यवस्थ. ठीक है, तो ये जो है ये आपकी स्टेट्स ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस होती हैं. अगर ये अद्वैत वेदांत है, कैन आई से दिस इज मोनिस्टिक और डुअलिस्टिक? अद्वैत वेदांत की अगर हम बात करें तो मोनिज्म और डुअलिज्म, व्हाट विल यू से? Advait Vedanta talks about monism, no distinction between Purush and Prakriti, no distinction between the environment and you, no distinction between other people and you. Okay, now the Jagrata Avastha is where we are consciously focusing on material world. ठीक है? कॉन्शियसली हम मटेरियल वर्ल्ड पे फोकस कर रहे हैं. ओके. स्वप्न अवस्था में इट्स लाइक जो रिपेंटिंग स्टेज होती है ना, या रिग्रेट स्टेज होती है फ्रॉम सूफिज्म, इट्स लाइक दैट, गोइंग बैक एंड फोर्थ. तो सटल्टी. Okay, it's a first of all, it is a dream-like state. The state itself is a dream-like state where we keep going back and forth. Okay, we keep going back and forth between material and then spiritual world. मतलब हमारा अटेंशन ऐसा नहीं है कि हम आत्मा बन जाते हैं एंड देन वी कम बैक टू द वर्ल्ड, नॉट लाइक दैट. कीप गोइंग बैक एंड फोर्थ मीन्स हम अपना अटेंशन कभी मटेरियल वर्ल्ड पे डालते हैं और कभी कभी स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड पे. Why I'm writing is I'm going to share this with you as well, so you don't need to write a lot. ठीक है, ये आपके साथ शेयर होगा बाद में. Okay, what is the pragyavast? Pragyavast is I have knowledge. ठीक है, subtlety नहीं है. Subtlety is lost. I am completely focused. Subtlety gone. Focused on becoming Atman. ठीक है, becoming. Very, very good. Okay, all right, very good. Now here, this is the highest level of consciousness, Turyavast. Highest level of consciousness where we have already become the Atman. यहाँ पे हम Atman बन गए हैं. Okay. All right. Great. Wonderful. चलिए. Second topic done and dusted. You'll say that for all 50 topics. चलिए. Topic 2 is done. What is our topic number 3? Topic number 3, we know very well the path to Sufism. We also know the levels of nafs. Now today let's do layers of Sufism. ठीक है? Layers of Sufism करते हैं. They might ask you this in the upcoming exam. तो लेयर्स ऑफ सूफिज्म क्या होता है? दिस कम्स फ्रॉम इंटरनल टू एक्सटर्नल या एक्सटर्नल टू इंटरनल हम करेंगे. ठीक है, ओके, ऑलराइट. दिस इज इन द पाथ इटसेल्फ कि हम क्या क्या लॉज, क्या क्या स्टेप्स फॉलो करते हैं एक्सटर्नल टू इंटरनल लेयर्स से. एक्सटर्नल टू इंटरनल करेंगे. ऑलराइट. नाउ व्हाट वी हैव, most external or the exoteric layer. Exoteric layer is also known as what? This is also known as the Sharia. डे टू डे लॉ. ठीक है, हाँ जी, वेरी वेरी गुड, वेरी वेरी गुड. उसके बाद वी ऑल्सो हैव द esoteric layer. Esoteric layer which is also known as the tariqa. ओके, तो ये क्या करते हैं हम? शरिया इज डे टू डे लॉ. तरीका इज व्हेन वी गो वांट टू लर्न फ्रॉम अ प्रॉपर सूफिज्म और इस्लामिक टीचर और व्हाटएवर. उसके बाद वी हैव द हकीकत. Okay, when we are basically learning and trying to become a Sufi as well. Okay, उसके बाद क्या होता है? उसके बाद we have मारिफा, where we have come to know our true potential, our true nature or power of Sufism. Okay, becomes known to us. बस, becomes known to us. Okay. All right. Very, very good. When you talk about path to Sufism, does it start with repentance or does it start with renunciation? Path to Sufism जो है वो repentance से start होता है या renunciation से start होता है? बताइए. Say something. Yes, ma'am. I'm waiting. Say something. Okay. What I remember is it starts with repentance. Then we have fear. Then we have renunciation. Okay. Then we have renunciation. Then we have poverty. Then we have patience. then we have trust, and finally, surrender, or what do I say? Peace. Hanji, absolute. This is the path. You can also just call this enlightenment. Chalo, ठीक है, great, wonderful, let's go. Okay, what is our topic number 4? 1 minute. We'll talk about, I think we're going to talk about ontology and epistemology. Chaliye, let's talk about ontologies and epistemology. what are ontologies and what are epistemologies? इसका मतलब क्या है, पहले हम ये डिस्कस करेंगे, उसके बाद हम देखेंगे कि कौन सी ontologies इंपॉर्टेंट है और कौन सी epistemologies इंपॉर्टेंट है. ontology का मतलब ये है कि हमारी जो रियलिटी है या जो हमारा नॉलेज है, क्या वो एक रियलिटी पे बेस्ड है, मतलब सबका एक ही वर्जन है नॉलेज का, या फिर मेरी अलग रियलिटी आपकी अलग रियलिटी. डू वी हैव रियलिज्म in which we have a single reality, एक ही reality सबकी, या फिर relativism जहां पे अपनी अपनी सबकी reality. Okay, so realism and relativism. Last time or the year before that, they had simply asked which of the following is basically which of the following is basically relevant to reality, how many realities we have. Whereas epistemology is the study of knowledge. Epistemology is also known as simply the study of knowledge. ठीक है? तो इसके लिए for the study of knowledge, how do we do it? Do we do it objectively, like experimentation, जहां हम सोचते हैं कि हमारा knowledge के साथ कोई relation नहीं है, we will objectively study, या subjectively, where we take things like interviews and stuff, जहां हम मानते हैं कि जो हमारा participant है उसकी जो story है वही knowledge है. Okay, this is how. Yes, absolutely. Ontology, how many realities? Correct, absolutely correct. Now, what is very important for us to see is positivism and post-positivism. How does it relate to these two? Okay. So when I say positivism, what am I saying? Okay, I'll write positivism. Positivism, post-positivism, and we will also write constructionism, yeah, constructivism. These are very, very important. We will also write about pragmatism, क्योंकि इससे पहले पूछा था आपको pragmatism के बारे में, ठीक है? So when I talk about positivism, do I have relativism or realism? I have realism. In fact, I have naive realism. Okay? उसके बाद do I have subjectivity or objectivity? I have objectivity. ठीक है? Okay. So you will see methodology जो होगी वो भी, हाँ जी, वो भी ऐसा ही होगा, in the sense it will be experiment based. ठीक है? Then you talk about post positivism. We are relaxing a little on the realism. We are saying critical realism हम apply करेंगे, right? Now, rather than just applying naive realism, हम critical थोड़ा हो जाएंगे, and we will say not relativism, realism only. Sorry, I will redo this. Oh, not like this. What did I do? रुको guys. My bad. Let me erase here. Okay. So what do we have? What do we have? Realism only. We will now do critical realism though. Okay? Hanji. Critical realism, and then here objectivity itself. Okay? Objectivity itself. Very, very good. Very, very good. Chalo. Iske baad kya? Then what we have also, next one we'll do for constructivism. Do we believe we create knowledge or knowledge exists? We believe we create knowledge. So subjectivity will be related to constructivism, and relativism, not realism. क्योंकि हम मानते हैं कि सबकी अपनी अपनी रियलिटी है और वो नॉलेज क्रिएट करते हैं. ओके. So absolutely. So in constructivism, you have relativism as ontology. That means we have many realities like Piaget, like Vygotsky, and so on. And subjectivity is how we will study whatever knowledge is there. ठीक है? हाँ, क्योंकि हम क्रिएट करते हैं नॉलेज को. Lastly, in pragmatism, does pragmatism believe that there is one best method? प्रैग्मेटिज्म का मानना है ऐसा कि हमारे पास एक अच्छा मेथड है तो काफी है, या कोई भी मेथड हम यूज कर सकते हैं. नो, प्रैग्मेटिज्म टॉक्स अबाउट सब्जेक्टिविटी वेयर वॉट एवर मेथड वर्क्स फॉर यू इज वॉट यू शुड यूज. आपको वही मेथड यूज करना चाहिए नॉलेज गेन करने का जो आपके लिए सूटेबल हो, जो आप जिससे आप कंफर्टेबल हैं. और रिलेटिविज्म, सब लोगों की अपनी अपनी रियलिटीज हैं, क्योंकि कोई भी मेथड आप यूज कर सकते हो जब को आपका वो सूटेबल रिजल्ट देगा. ठीक है. एब्सोल्युटली, आप मिक्स मेथड्स कर लो, आप कोई भी मेथड यूज कर लो जिससे आपको अपना डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट मिलेगा. दैट्स बेसिकली अबाउट इट. Absolutely, that's basically about it. All right. No, Nandini, both are not the same. What is Nandini saying? Absolutely. चलिए. All right. Topic 4 is also done. Topic 4 is also done. Topic 5, lastly, what should we do? What have I written here? Let's do a little overview of Buddhism. ठीक है? Let's do a little bit of an overview of Buddhism. Buddhism पे हमेशा आपको एक question आता है. So let's write down what we know about Buddhism. This time they had asked you simply to, if you suppress your cravings and all, if you get rid of your cravings, what will you find? All right. Now, Buddhism, there are 3 schools which we primarily know of. नए जो schools हैं, 3 हैं. Okay. एक तो आपका थेरावाडा स्कूल है, विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज सीकिंग इंडिविजुअल फ्रीडम. यहाँ पे दिस इज ओनली व्हाट डू आई से, निर्वाणा कैन ओनली बी अटेन्ड बाय मेन एंड इंडिविजुअली. इट बिलीव्स कि वी कंप्लीटली बिकम अनाथ. अनाथ नहीं, अनाथ. ओके. अनाथ का मतलब है कि आत्मा नहीं रहती है. दैट्स इट. So here we have a different path towards enlightenment where we have to become the bodhisattva. ठीक है? Okay. All right. तो यहाँ पे we start by becoming the सोतपन. Okay. उसके बाद साकड़गामी. उसके बाद अन्नगामी, या कभी कभी अनुगामी also they will say. Okay. In addition to following the eightfold path. If you say ma'am said Theravada mein they don't follow eightfold path, that's not correct. Okay, all right. Yes, only for male, Theravada. Enlightenment is only for male. Now, Buddhism itself doesn't believe in any deity or any god. It is an atheistic religion. Okay? Okay. And the prime difference from Hinduism, Sufism, and all that is that when we die, या when we seek liberation from the cycle of suffering, हम बनते हैं अनाथ, मतलब आत्मा नहीं रहती है. अनगामी के बाद therefore we must or want to become the arahant. arahant में n होगा या नहीं होगा, कोई बात नहीं. It's still correct. Please don't panic in the exam saying spelling ही गलत है. Okay, then we have Mahayana. Mahayana से आपको related क्या पूछते हैं? This is also the middle path which talks about collective freedom. Okay. Collective freedom का मतलब क्या है? That Buddha still exists and he is still, somewhere helping us. Okay, तो उसको collective freedom. Both males and females can gain attainment of what? Of enlightenment, of nirvana. All right. Now, Mahayana school से क्या क्या related है? Can I say Saraswativad, Sarvastivad? Okay. Can I say Mahasangika? Not Mahasangika actually. Madhyamika, not Mahasangika. Mahasangika will be more relevant to Theravada. ठीक है? हाँ, Madhyamika school. Okay. Then we have Vaibhashika also. Vaibhashika is also related here. And Sautantrika is also related here. ठीक है, ये भी पूछते हैं आपको. Very, very good. Okay. Ma'am, layers of self comes in Hinduism, right? Annamaya Kosha. Yes, absolutely. ठीक है. Then lastly, we have our what school of Buddhism? Lastly, कौन सा school है Buddhism का? Lastly, we have the Vajrayana school. Okay, also known as the Thunderbolt vehicle. Thunderbolt, diamond vehicle. Thunderbolt क्यों कहते हैं इसको? Because here we believe that not through meditation करने की जरूरत नहीं है, but through mantras and chanting we will gain supernatural powers and we will also gain enlightenment. Okay, chanting. This is the Tibetan school of Buddhism actually. जो अभी आप देख रहे हैं, where the Dalai Lama is the religious head. This is the Tibetan school of Buddhism. All right? Okay. Rajdhani Express. Yes, here we believe in chanting rather than doing meditation. Will the eightfold path be followed everywhere? Yes, eightfold path will be followed everywhere. Will the noble truth be followed everywhere? Yes, four noble truths will apply everywhere as well. Okay, okay, all right. We are done with unit 1. Let's move on to unit 2. I'll wait 1 minute for all of you to note down if you're noting anything down. Then we can move on. Yeah, Stuti. Too strict. योगाचार किस में आएगा? योगाचार इज बेसिकली माध्यमिका जो है ना, वो स्वतंत्रिका, स्वतंत्रिका नहीं, हाँ, स्वतंत्रिका एंड देन योगाचार के बीच का इट्स द मिडिल पाथ ओवर देयर. तो योगाचार भी रिलेटेड होगा यहाँ पे, लेकिन वो एक पुराना स्कूल है, जरूरी नहीं है रिलेट करना. चलिए, यूनिट नंबर 2, रिसर्च मेथड्स. वी हैव आवर 5 टॉपिक्स. वी विल स्टार्ट ऑफ विद what is post hoc, okay, and when to do it. I feel like no matter how much we talk about it, people still end up confused. आपको last exam में पूछा था ये, so this is quite important. They might ask you again. What is post hoc and when will you do it? You see, when you have a directional hypothesis, जब आपके पास एक directional hypothesis हो, okay, and please don't talk about t-test and all. We are talking about ANOVAs and everything. जब आपको पैराग्राफ मिलेगा, आपको कोई t-test पे पैराग्राफ नहीं देने वाला. You will get paragraph on some kind of ANOVA, or you will get on factor analysis, or you will get on regression, or you will get on क्या कहते हैं इसको? What's the other one? Or you will get on हाँ जी, yes, yes, you will get it. Factor analysis, regression, ANOVA, or testing. All right. So directional hypothesis, something like coffee will increase concentration levels. Okay, coffee will increase concentration levels. Directional or non-directional? Directional, clearly directional. So I will have coffee at 3 levels: no coffee, low coffee, high coffee, and I will check concentration. When I get my ANOVA result, ठीक है, मुझे क्या मिलेगा? I will get F ratio. Let us say F ratio is equal to 9.12. Good ratio only. That means effect is significant. What my ANOVA actually tells me is only that there is a significant difference. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि जिस ग्रुप को कॉफी नहीं मिली हो, वही significant difference दिखा रहा है. अब हाई है डिफरेंस, लो है डिफरेंस, ये हमें पता नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज अनोवा इज एन ओमनीबस टेस्ट. ओमनीबस का मतलब है ये सिर्फ आपको ओवरऑल डिफरेंस कोई है या नहीं है, बस वो कहेगा. ठीक है, ओके, ऑल राइट. तो ये जानने के लिए, जब हमारे पास ऑलरेडी सिग्निफिकेंस है, ओनली व्हेन आवर रिजल्ट्स आर सिग्निफिकेंस, अदरवाइज नो. ओके, ओनली व्हेन रिजल्ट्स आर सिग्निफिकेंट एंड इट इज अ डायरेक्शनल हाइपोथेसिस. तो ये एक कंडीशन और ये भी एक कंडीशन है यहाँ पे. इसके बाद मेन इफेक्ट के लिए वी विल गो अहेड एंड वी विल डू पोस्ट हॉक टेस्ट. ओके, आफ्टर दिस व्हाट विल वी डू? वी विल डू पोस्ट हॉक फॉर द मेन इफेक्ट. मेन इफेक्ट हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है. दिस इज नोन एज मेन इफेक्ट या सिंपल इफेक्ट. ऑल राइट, ओके. पोस्ट हॉक विल टेल अस एक्चुअली ग्रुप्स का स्कोर क्या है. सो इट माइट बी 20, 30, 40. तो है डिफरेंस. तो आप फिर कह सकते हैं ओके, हाइपोथेसिस एक्सेप्टेड. हाइपोथेसिस कैन बी एक्सेप्टेड ओनली आफ्टर डायरेक्शनल. हाइपोथेसिस कैन बी एक्सेप्टेड ओनली आफ्टर पोस्ट हॉक, या रिजेक्टेड ऑल्सो इफ द इफेक्ट इज नॉट टू योर लाइक. चलिए, लेट्स चल. One moderates, another is simply an interaction effect. All right. Now, what is the difference between ANOVA, MANOVA, and ANCOVA in terms of degrees of freedom? Difference between ANOVA, मनोवा एंड अनकोवा। ठीक है, इन तीनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? सबसे बड़ी डिफरेंस क्या है? कैन आई से दे आर ऑल अनोवास, दे आर सम वर्जन ऑफ अनोवा। सी अनोवा में आप वन वे टू वे रखो, इट डज नॉट मैटर। आप मनोवा में भी वन वे टू वे एनालिसिस कर सकते हो, दैट विल जस्ट बी द नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स, दैट डजंट मैटर। ओके, ऑलराइट। नाउ अनोवा इज जनरली यूज्ड टू एनालाइज मोर देन टू ग्रुप्स, टू और मोर देन टू ग्रुप्स, एंड देन एफ रेशियो विल बी डिराइव्ड, वो एफ रेशियो ही आपको मिलेगा। ठीक है, वन वे टू वे जो आप करते हैं यहाँ यहाँ ये इंट्रैक्शन इफेक्ट के लिए आप करते हैं। ठीक है, Okay, all right. Now, what about MANOVA then? Difference क्या है? So, in MANOVA, rather than having only multiple independent variables, you have multiple dependent variables with moderate correlations. ठीक है? Multiple dependent variables with moderate correlations. And ANCOVA, जहां आप ये clearly ये mention किया होगा paragraph में कि something was used as a covariate. It is a mix of an ANOVA plus regression design. ठीक है? रिग्रेशन प्लस अनोवा डिजाइन का मिक्स होता है ये assumptions में, उसी को हम अनकोवा कहते हैं। So let's try to understand exactly what happens in these. So one way, two way ANOVA, what will you do? Any way ANOVA doesn't matter. Between group ANOVA, ये between की बात हो रही है, okay? Between group ANOVA. Your degrees of freedom of error is what is important. बाकी तो same ही होता है. So degrees of freedom of error will here be capital N total number of participants minus capital K total number of groups. Total number of groups. Now here in MANOVA also degrees of freedom of error are same as ANOVA because the number of independent variables doesn't vary. Number of independent variables जो है आपका वो same ही है, उसमें कोई difference नहीं है, so it doesn't matter N minus K itself. But regression design जो आप देखेंगे उसका भी degrees of freedom of error और अनकोवा का भी डिग्रीज ऑफ फ्रीडम ऑफ एरर सेम रहेगा, बिकॉज हियर वी आर सब्ट्रैक्टिंग वन फॉर द कोवेरिएट which serves as an extra independent variable but is categorical in nature. Sorry, not categorical, is continuous in nature. क्या है ये? Because generally independent variable जो होता है वो categorical होता है, लेकिन ये continuous in nature होता है। ठीक है, it's generally it has a decimal value also, it can have a decimal value. So उसके लिए हम यहाँ पे n minus k minus 1. Okay, total number of participants minus total number of groups that we have minus 1. All right, great. Chalo, let's go. After this, what do we talk about? Probability versus non-probability sampling. ठीक है, सिंपल डिफरेंस सो दैट यू डू नॉट मेक मिस्टेक्स इन योर एग्जाम्स, इस पे भी आते रहते हैं क्वेश्चंस। नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी वर्सेस नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पल। वन पॉइंट दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इज चाहे कोटा सैम्पलिंग हो कोई भी सैम्पलिंग हो, ओके? सो इन प्रोबेबिलिटी व्हाट ऑल डू यू हैव सिस्टमैटिक सैम्पलिंग, you have simple random, all kinds of random sampling will come here. Multi-stage sampling, not stamping. Cluster sample, you have your stratified sample. We can calculate the chance of the independent or anybody being included in the sample. Why am I saying independent variable here? यहाँ पे हम किसी का भी सैंपल में इंक्लूड होने का चांस कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, ओके? वी कैन प्रिडिक्ट, दैट्स द बिग डिफरेंस. We can predict an individual from the population chance of becoming part of the sample. Okay, whereas non-probability कोई भी हो, whether it's quota, whether it's accidental sampling, whether it is snowball sampling, whether it's judgmental sampling, we can never know, okay? We can never calculate anybody's chance of being included in the sample. Accidental itself is convenience. चलिए, ऑल राइट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेम्बर, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेम्बर, आपको इस पे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। चलिए, ऑल राइट, वंडरफुल। टॉपिक नंबर 4, व्हाट इज अ पॉजिटिव स्क्यू और व्हाट इज स्क्यू इन जनरल। पॉजिटिव स्क्यू और नेगेटिव स्क्यू क्या होता है? ओके, डाउट ऑफ द सेंचुरी। So we talk about an exam. If the exam was really, really easy versus if it was really, really difficult. Okay, all right. So if the exam was really difficult, the curve is going to look like this. सारे फेल हो गए, ये आपकी नेगेटिव स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशंस हैं, एंड 3 या 4 बच्चे पास हो गए। ठीक है, ये आपकी पॉजिटिव स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशंस हैं। ऑल राइट, सो फ्यू पीपल passed. Yeah, I wish you guys could use your voice here, you know. मैम उसमें मीन मीडियन ग्रेटर होता है, वो भी मेंशन कर दीजिए। ओके हर्षा, ओके, ऑलराइट, चलो फोकस ना, फोकस फोकस। So here also we have another curve where most people are going to do well. Okay, ये आपकी positive standard deviations. ठीक है, so this one where most people are in the positive side is known as a negative skew. ठीक है, स्क्यू जो होता है ये टेल की बात होती है कि टेल में कम लोग हैं यहाँ पे, एंड पॉजिटिव स्क्यू इज दैट देयर आर फ्यू पीपल ऑन द पॉजिटिव साइड। ओके, रिमेंबर कि यहाँ पे मीडियन चेंज नहीं होगा, मीडियन विल बी इन द मिडल ओनली। मीडियन आपका चेंज नहीं होगा, मीडियन मिडल में ही रहेगा, लेकिन मीन आपका चेंज होगा। मीन विल मूव मोर टुवर्ड्स द स्क्यू, मीन जो है वो आपका स्क्यू की तरफ ही जाएगा। ओके, वेयर इज द स्क्यू हियर? तो मीन विल बी पॉजिटिव हियर एंड मीन विल बी लेसर हियर, ऐसे होगा। ओके, एंड दिस इज मीडियन। चलिए, वेरी वेरी गुड, वेरी वेरी गुड, लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो, वेरी गुड। व्हाट्स आवर लास्ट टॉपिक हियर? What is primary and what is secondary variance and what is error variance? Okay, a lot of you I see जब आप F ratio measure करते हो, you tell primary divided by secondary variance. Okay, ये primary variance क्या होता है, secondary variance क्या होता है? You're also asked what is the order in which secondary variance is controlled. Okay, all right. What is variance? Primary variance, secondary variance, and error variance. Okay, and why our F ratio is never primary by secondary but primary by error. All right, chaliye, please pay a lot of attention. A lot of you make mistakes here. तो प्राइमरी वेरिएंस क्या होता है? दिस इज द एक्चुअल चेंज ब्रॉट अबाउट इन द इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल इनटू द डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल। ठीक है, जितनी चेंज हमने इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल की वजह से डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल में देखी है उसको हम प्राइमरी वेरिएंस कहते हैं। जितनी हाई उतना अच्छा। ओके, ऑल राइट, ओके, ऑल राइट, एसबी, यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम। हाँ, ओके, ऑल राइट, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ऑल ऑफ द स्वीट वर्ड्स। चलिए, प्राइमरी वेरिएंस क्या होता है? एक्चुअल इफेक्ट ऑन डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल बाय इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल। ओके, सो प्राइमरी वेरिएंस इज गुड। ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंट्स विल हैव मैक्सिमम प्राइमरी वेरिएंस। ट्रू एक्सपेरिमेंट जो होता है, लेबोरेटरी एक्सपेरिमेंट जो होता है, उसकी मैक्सिमम प्राइमरी वेरिएंस होगी। सेकेंडरी वेरिएंस इज ब्रॉट अबाउट बाय एक्सट्रेनियस वेरिएबल्स। Extraneous variables. Then are we aware what variables these are? We are aware. These are variables that we have failed to control. Failed to control. Okay. So in a laboratory experiment, have I failed to control anything? No, I have not. I have not. Okay. Okay. I have not controlled. I have controlled everything. So there is nothing I have failed to control in a true experiment. In quasi experimental design, their secondary variance will be a lot higher. Field experiment में थोड़ी more than true experiment होगी, secondary variance. Secondary variance is basically due to extraneous variables, so we are very aware where we have missed out and where exactly this is coming from. So we don't divide primary by error. In a true experiment, we expect there is no secondary variance or minimal secondary variance. Error variance is I do not know where it comes from. ये कहाँ से आता है हमें नहीं पता. Random error जिसको हम कहते हैं, measurement error and so on, that is error variance. Right? Participant got stomach ache, participant got headache and all that. Okay. A lot of times this is due to participant characteristics. कुछ उन्होंने कल ज्यादा खा लिया, they got stomach ache and what all. That is this. Okay, so this is what bothers me. If participants' performance really went down because they had fever or headache, then I should count it in. That's all. That's all. ठीक है. Within group, हाँ, क्या, हाँ, क्या. For a between group design, a within group difference is error. ठीक है. चलो, unit 2 is done. We are running very late. Let's go. Unit number 3, psychological testing. Let's do an overview of CATEL 16 PF. ठीक है. Okay, चलिए. I wish this was where you could use, your voice chat also. CATEL 16 personality factor test. So can I say factor analytic? Factor analytic. How many source traits? 16 source traits. Obliquely rotated or orthogonally rotated? Obliquely rotated. Remember, CATEL matlab sab kuch interrelated hai. Okay, same CATEL who has given GFGC theory. All right. What factors has he included or he talked about? क्या कहते हैं इसको? L data, Q data and T data. 16 PF measures only Q data. 16 PF measures Q data only. L data में आपके A, B, C, D, Q तक जो factors हैं, वहां से D, J, K and P were not included in the questionnaire because they are a part of L or life data, which is about day-to-day habits of the participants. Huh? Absolutely. T is objective test data, which according to Cattell, he was not able to measure through his questionnaire. Okay. तो यहाँ पे Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 भी आते हैं. It's simply grouping of the first 3 factors, then second 3, then third 3, like that. Okay. This is just the grouping of factors in his 16 PF questionnaire. All right. Are we missing anything else? No. 16 PF can be used in clinical settings, but is mostly used for normal settings. We have a bipolar impression management scale. Impression management scale hai. Then we also have an acquiescence scale. Okay. We also have another scale. What's another scale that he has? एक तो impression management है, another is acquiescence. What is another one? Is it desirability? Is it a desirability scale? Or is it an infrequency scale? Infrequency scale है ना? Infrequency scale है. Absolute. ठीक है, okay. So P data or P factor analysis was used to collect a lot of data for single individual. Single person. R method of factor analysis for many people. S across social situations. Single person, many situations. S. S method. Alright. Okay. That is about it. Total iski recent version is 185 statements. Force choice. Yes. True or false force choice. No neutral here. And then iska second orders का कौन सा नया version है? From CATEL 16 PF we get second order factors. उनसे बनता है हमारा global 5 questionnaire. Done. Ma'am, do we not calculate T data from the test? From which test you want to calculate? No, we don't get T data. We get only Q data. Okay, questionnaire data. We don't get T data. चलो ठीक है. Mean and SD value, ma'am. Is this an intelligence test, Harsha? Is this an intelligence test? All right, chalo. Then what do we have? Then we have Osgood semantic differential scale. You have got last 2 years में आपको दो questions, तीन questions इस पे आए हैं last 3 years में. Osgood semantic differential scale. Very, very important. Is this a bipolar or a unipolar scale? या दोनों bipolar and unipolar हो सकता है. This is an attitude measuring scale. Okay, it is an attitude scale. Absolutely. Then always bipolar. Can be a 7 point, 9 point, or 11 point scale. Uses bipolar adjectives. Okay, all right. Unidimensional or multidimensional? It is a multidimensional scale. Multidimensional scale है ये. Yes, absolutely. Why do we call it multidimensional? It measures evaluation also. It measures potency also, like strength and weakness. And it measures evaluation, potency, and activity, like slow and fast, noisy or not noisy. Okay, ऐसी चीजें. Activity also. Do we have anything else to mention over here? What kind of data do we get from Osgood semantic differential scale? We will get interval data. हमें यहाँ से interval data मिलेगा. Very, very good. Very, very good. That is about it. That's all we need to basically remember here. हमें यहाँ पे यही याद रखना है. That's what we have to remember. And absolutely. Can this be used to measure attitude towards outgroups? Absolutely. It can be used to measure attitude towards anybody and everybody as long as you construct the multidimensional scale. That's all. That's all. Very, very good. Very, very good. चलिए. उसके बाद, where do we use Cooder-Richardson and where do we use Cronbach's alpha? Okay. Or what are other forms of internal consistency as well? So, Cooder-Richardson formula and Cronbach's alpha. Let's call this internal consistency, reliability. Internal consistency, reliability. Cooder, Richardson, and Cronbach's alpha are two measures of internal consistency which will be same for dichotomous items. ये dichotomous होता क्या है? Dichotomous का मतलब है कितने भी wrong answer हो, correct answer statement का एक ही है. Therefore, the outcome, the possible outcome is only correct or incorrect. Then we have odd, even, split, half and all of that. ठीक है? Odd, even, split, half. All right. Absolutely. It will be different for polytomers. Now you see Cronbach is actually the sum total or the all possible average of all possible split half reliabilities. Then can I say value will be same? No, no, value will be different. Lesser होगा, ज़्यादा होगा, क्या होगा, we cannot say. Values will be different. Okay, all right. Next up is even more important, the Spearman-Brown correction. ठीक है? A lot of us still struggle, so it's better to have the formula here. In connection with the internal consistency reliability, we will do Spearman-Brown correction. ये हम कब use करते हैं? So generally when you get a measure of internal consistency, जब आपको split half मिलता है ना, वो आधे टेस्ट का ही होता है. It is of half of the test internal consistency. Before we apply Spearman-Brown correction. Spearman-Brown correction apply करके या फिर पूरे टेस्ट का हमें मिलता है. Okay. All right, fine. Let's. Now, Spearman round correction is when I want to change the internal consistency or I simply want to measure internal consistency when I'm changing test length. Okay? इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी को हम मेजर करना चाहते हैं लेकिन हम फिर से नए से जीरो से नहीं स्टार्ट करना चाहते जब हमने टेस्ट की लेंथ इंक्रीज या डिक्रीज कर दी है लेट अस से आई हैड 80 आइटम्स इन द टेस्ट नाउ दैट इट केम आउट टू बी स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड आई वांट टू मेक इट 160 आइटम्स ओके और आई वांट टू रिड्यूस टू 40 आइटम्स ये सब पॉसिबल है एंड आई डोंट नीड टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच अगेन आई कैन सिंपली कैलकुलेट ओके देयर इज अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल फॉर्मूला व्हिच सिंपली सेज K into R divided by 1 plus K minus 1 into R. ठीक है? ये K is the actual length you want to multiply it into. It can be half also, it can be 2 also, it can be 3 also, आपकी मर्जी है. Length to be changed. चाहे आप multiply करोगे, चाहे आप divide करोगे, let us say if length is to be doubled, okay? If length is double, then K is 2. If length is triple, then K is 3. ऐसा है. And R value आपको दिया जाएगा. R value will already be given to you. Okay? Alright. चलिए. There are simpler formulae also, but for those of you who are doing this for the first time or in general, I think it's best to remember just the one formula. That's a lot easier. ठीक है? That's a lot easier also. बस एक फॉर्मूला कर लो आप एंड आपको हर सिचुएशन में यही एक अप्लाई करना है. You don't need to worry. All right, great. Let's go ahead. What else do we have? What will we talk about here? We will talk about special correlations. ठीक है? We'll talk about special correlations. कहाँ पे कौन सा हम अप्लाई करेंगे? Only the important ones. आपको क्या क्या पूछा जाएगा? So you will be asked enter item. You will be asked item total. You will be asked item remainder. Okay. Or you may be asked two continuous, one continuous plus one nominal. तो ऐसे भी पूछ सकते हैं. Or you may be asked two nominal. Okay. All right. Without any hesitation, you will use phi coefficient here. क्या आप यूज करेंगे? आप simply यूज करेंगे phi coefficient, which is basically used to check the correlation between two what? Two nominal variables. Item total, item remainder is just like one continuous and one nominal, where we assume that the nominal one is naturally discrete. We will use point biserial. And then two continuous, you will use Pearson's R. These are also methods of checking effect size. ठीक है? इससे हम effect size भी measure कर सकते हैं. Absolutely. Great. Okay? Clear here? हाँ जी. Let me know if you're good to go. Let's go then. We'll move on to unit number 4. चलो ठीक. Okay, we'll do unit number 4 and then we will take a little bit of a break. Absolutely. So what is the first topic that we are going to talk about in biology? We are going to talk about the function of the four lobes. Okay, this is somewhere I see that a lot of you struggle and you make mistakes, and we will also talk about we'll talk about the functions of the four lobes. So we have frontal lobe, we have parietal lobe, we have the occipital lobe, and we also have the temporal lobe. All right. Now, frontal lobe, can I say, is responsible for expression of emotion and also experience of emotions. Can I say frontal lobe controls most of our personality? ये हमारी personality को control करता है. It controls all executive functions. It also controls analytical reasoning. Okay, it also controls working memory. I'm not saying working memory यहाँ located है. I'm saying it controls working memory. Don't go to blunders in the exam. All right. And of course, decision making also, inhibition also, absolutely all executive functioning. And can I say language also it controls? Language production. Language production. Can I say it controls motor movements also? It controls motor movements also. Yes, absolute. Okay, all right. Then parietal lobe is responsible for your haptic memory, touch related memory. Okay, visual memory also, your visuospatial function. Okay, all right. Then thermoreceptors, mechanoreceptors, touch, pressure, temperature, pain. Then is this the where pathway or the what pathway? This is the where pathway of vision. Posterior parietal cortex helps with vision. Yes, all right. Then we have the sensation happens here. Your somatosensory cortex is present here. It also helps in vestibular senses. ये आपके vestibular senses में भी help करता है. Okay, all right. हाँ, and damage here will also indicate contralateral neglect. क्या? यहाँ पे ये होती है डैमेज जब contralateral neglect होता है. Okay, all right, absolutely. Where or dorsal over here. चलिए, उसके बाद we have the occipital lobe. What does the occipital lobe do? Mostly vision only. So here we don't have to wonder a lot. Your feature detector cells are present here. Visual pathway आपका culminate होता है यहाँ पे. All right, okay, fine. Then the temporal lobe finally has the auditory cortex, of course. Okay, speech perception यहाँ पे होती है. Speech perception यहाँ पे होती है. You also have object recognition and facial recognition. Object, word, and facial recognition. The olfactory cortex is present here. Olfactory cortex is present here. Yeah, absolutely. And then do we have anything else? Some of the memory, जो आपकी long term memory होती है, some of it is stored here. ठीक है? हाँ जी, long term memory आपकी थोड़ी सी यहाँ पे store होती है. So LTM you can say, and we have the hippocampus here as well. So encoding takes place here. Hippocampus is there. That's about it. Absolutely. Yes, the what pathway, recognition and all of that. So that makes this the what pathway for vision. All right. You can note down or you can just wait for me to send it across to you later. Let me know. Let me know. You can say 20 to 80, Shivani, but then you don't need to actually, write it down. You just need to know that the association area is a lot larger than the projection areas. चलिए, उसके बाद what is our topic number 2? Topic number 2 is long-term potentiation. What are the changes that we see in long-term potentiation? LTP. Okay, I'm just going to draw the neurons and बाकी सब आप बोलोगे. I'm going to draw the neurons and you will tell me because my fingers need a little bit of a rest. All right. You can go ahead and you can tell me what all happens in long-term potentiation, and then I will write it down. GTG, ma'am. चलिए, चलिए. Tell me and I will write. Doesn't make sense to me to talk. Doesn't make sense for me to talk to myself. Oh, structural changes, but where do they happen? Very, very good, Anshika. All right. So क्या होता है? We'll talk about temporal summation here. Okay? We'll talk about temporal summation. All right. So action potentials happen more frequently than they would. And in long-term potentiation of declarative memory, okay, yeah, verbal learning, what happens over here is nitric oxide gets released here. Action potentials, the speed at which they happen, that increases. And a lot of charge is summated here. यहाँ पे जो charge है action potential से summate होती है, summated. Okay, that leads to a lot more glutamate being given out. Glutamate is your primary neurotransmitter when it comes to memory formation या long-term potentiation या consolidation of memory. क्या है? Glutamate, primary excitatory neurotransmitter in your brain. All right. Okay. All right. Ma'am, in LTP only dendritic change occurs. Yeah, no change in neuron structure. No, why will neuron structure change? Very, very good. So here you have two types of receptors. What are the two types of receptors? You have NMDA receptors and you have AMPA receptors. NMDA will be the blue ones and AMPA will be the purple ones. So actually AMPA will grow in number, NMDA will not grow. And methyl D-aspartate receptors of glutamate will not grow in number. AMPA जो है ये grow करेगा because this is what is required to actually strengthen the connection and to strengthen the memories. Okay. So AMPA grows in number and in size. All right. Now these dendrites also grow more and more spines to accommodate for the more neurotransmitter receptors. तो यहाँ पे जो है structural change आएगी. This is the only structural change you see. So we say dendritic structure changes, not neuron structure. Very, very good. And this NMDA doesn't grow. NMDA neither grows in size nor in number. Not in number. ठीक है. Now what do we have over here? We have the dendritic spines growing. Dendrite की जो branches होती हैं वो grow करती हैं, बस वो grow करती हैं. All right. ठीक है. Okay. All right. Are we missing out anything over here? Can I say repeated stimulation होगी यहाँ पे, बार बार यही दो neurons connect करेंगे. Repeated stimulation, repeated synaptic connection and therefore increased synaptic strength. मतलब ये synapse जल्दी बन जाएगी और ये longer last करेगी. So better memory also. Increased synaptic strength. All right. Okay. So not only do you have increased synaptic strength, you have repeated stimulation here. उसी की वजह से increase हो जाती है. All right. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine. Yes, yes. This is an example of synaptic plasticity. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good to go here. Hopefully good to go. Note down if there's anything to note down. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Now let's talk about pituitary gland and the pituitary hormones. Pituitary gland. Can I say it is a master gland? क्या हम कह सकते हैं कि pituitary is a master gland? It is a master gland. क्यों है ये master gland? Because the hypothalamus controls it, but it controls the endocrine system. controls the endocrine system. How does it control the endocrine system? By giving out tropic hormones, okay, making it an exocrine as well as an endocrine gland. All right, so we have anterior pituitary and we have posterior pituitary. Okay, we have anterior pituitary and we have posterior pituitary. All right. Now, the anterior pituitary gives out tropic hormones, which is your growth hormone, gives out TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, gives out what else? Gonadotropic. हाँ, absolutely, absolutely. ठीक है? It gives out prolactin also. Now, very important for us to notice or to remember is ये produce कहाँ होते हैं? They are synthesized as well as secreted by the anterior pituitary. Synthesized by anterior pituitary. And they are tropic hormones. Whereas posterior से क्या क्या secrete होता है? Only oxytocin. These two are also neurohormones. And vasopressin. Plus vasopressin या antidiuretic hormone. Okay? Yes? Absolutely. ADH or vasopressin. Where are these synthesized? These are only secreted by posterior pituitary. These are synthesized by hypothalamus. These are synthesized by the hypothalamus. Yes? Absolutely. Very, very good. Very, very good. Absolutely. These are just secreted. Chaliye. All right. Okay. Okay. Very, very good. Topic number 4. What do we have in topic number 4? We talk about thirst. Let's change the color. We talk about thirst. What are some structures linked over here? Lateral hypothalamus. And a structure known as A3V3, also known as the anterior third ventricle. When the anterior third ventricle is stimulated, we feel thirsty. तो इसको जब डैमेज होती है तो बिल्कुल प्यास नहीं लगती है. ओके, वेरी वेरी गुड, वेरी वेरी गुड. ओके, ऑल राइट. So here, what was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying? Okay, anyway, I was saying that when the anterior third ventricle is damaged, then what happens? Then we don't feel thirsty anymore. All right? So we have, yes, lack of thirst also will result in adipsia. Adipsia. All right? What are the two theories of thirst? Double depletion hypothesis क्या है? Why do I keep writing P instead of P? Double depletion hypothesis क्या है? Double depletion talks about osmotic thirst and volumetric thirst. Volemic या volumetric. Okay. Volemic. All right. Now, osmotic thirst happens due to what? Increase of solutes outside the cell. Okay. So, loss of intracellular fluid. सेल के अंदर का जो फ्लूइड होता है जब वो लॉस्ट हो जाता है तब ऑस्मोटिक थर्स्ट आती है. लेकिन वॉल्यूमेट्रिक थर्स्ट इज लॉस ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड लाइक प्लाज्मा, लाइक ब्लड, लाइक it happens through vomiting and stuff as well. Okay. So increase of concentration of solutes in the extracellular membrane will also cause osmotic thirst. Whereas यहाँ पे volemic thirst कैसे होगा? Due to blood loss, due to plasma loss, and so on. All right. Okay. Great. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's. Topic number 5. Finally, we talk about imaging. Techniques of imaging. A lot of you seem to have confusion regarding this as well. So we will talk about structural. Picture हमें कौन सा देता है? Structural images, functional image, and function only. Functional overview. All right. So structural image, what all techniques give us? Can anybody tell me? So we have CAT scan or CT scan. ये हमें structural image देगा और हमें MRI देगा structural image by use of hydrogen atoms, by manipulating the hydrogen atoms. Okay, all right. उसके बाद क्या टेक्निक हम यूज कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे to get the structural image of the brain? पूरे ब्रेन की स्ट्रक्चर की इमेज वी कैन ऑल्सो यूज डिफ्यूजन टेंसर इमेजिंग DTI, डिफ्यूजन टेंसर इमेजिंग भी हम यूज कर सकते हैं. ऑलराइट. ओके. फाइन. ठीक है. उसके बाद फंक्शनल इमेज हमें कहाँ कहाँ मिलेगी? वी विल गेट इन पेट स्कैन. ओके, जो हमें ओवरऑल फंक्शनल इमेज देगा, स्ट्रक्चरल इमेज नहीं. Then we will also get a functional image in fMRI. fMRI में हमें structural image भी मिलेगी. fMRI gives us structural and functional image. मतलब पूरे brain के structure की, which is something that the PET scan cannot give us. Now we know that the PET scan is invasive. PET scan एक टेक्निक है इमेजिंग की जो minimally invasive है because we are injected the fluorodeoxyglucose into our carotid artery. ठीक है? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then functional overview is given by EEG, EMG, and EOG as well. Electrooculography, electromyography, electroencephalography. Then we also have magnetic encephalography. ठीक है? तो ये सारी टेक्निक्स आपको फंक्शनल ओवरव्यू देंगे. That's it. Let me know if we are through here, and then we will take a little bit of a break, and then we will move on to unit number 5. EOG से आप eye movement check कर सकते हैं. We generally study this in REM sleep. EOG. EMG also we generally study in REM sleep only. All right. MRI and fMRI, the difference is F stands for the function. Right, in fMRI, it also is able to manipulate the oxygen field and as well as the hydrogen, whereas MRI can only manipulate the radioactive field of hydrogen and measure the structure, not the function. Right, whereas fMRI traces gold signal, which is your cerebral blood flow. मतलब ऑक्सीजन को ट्रेस करता है, ऑक्सीजन की मूवमेंट को ट्रेस करता है. Wherever oxygen is taken up, fMRI basically does what? So it basically checks what part of our brain is taking up the most oxygen and it shows us during activity. Electroencephalography for neurotransmitters, for hormone? No, Khushbu, no. How for hormone? It's for action potential activity in the brain. What will hormone do? Hormone क्या करेगा वहां पे? All right, guys, we'll take 3 minutes break. Okay, and then we'll move on to unit 5. In unit 5, we don't have as much. So fMRI can give, so only fMRI, yes. मैम लास्ट क्या है? लास्ट कहाँ है? प्रेम कुमारी बताइए क्या लास्ट है? ये जो टेक्निक्स हैं EEG इलेक्ट्रोएन्सेफेलोग्राफी होता है. ऑलराइट. Got confused? If you don't study, that's exactly what's going to happen. EMG इलेक्ट्रोमायोग्राफी, ये मसल टेंशन की ओवरव्यू आपको देगा, ठीक है। और फिर EOG इज इलेक्ट्रो ऑक्यूलोग्राफी, आई मूवमेंट का आपको ये ओवरव्यू देगा। ओके, ऑल राइट मैम, लर्निंग शेड्यूल बता दीजिए, क्या लर्निंग शेड्यूल मैं आपको बता दूं? व्हाट आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट? व्हाई आर यू सेइंग वाइल्ड थिंग्स टुडे? All right. Okay. What is a functional image? See, if you attended classes, positron emission tomography, does it give you an image of the brain where the highlighted areas are present? क्या आपको पता है? पता है, नहीं पता है? That the positron emission tomography technique basically is going to give you an overview of all of the active areas of the brain. वो कैसे? Because this radioactive glucose is going to go to those areas of brain. Yes? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, absolutely. Whereas the EEG only gives you a transcript. ऐसे sheet जैसा आता है, like a fact, जहां पे आपके वेव्स की इंटेंसिटी दी होती है. इट डजंट गिव यू एनी ब्रेन इमेज. ऐसे 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 पेपर आता है. ओके, ऑल राइट, लाइक दैट. फॉर दैट, गाइज आज जो कर रहे हैं आप उस पर ध्यान दो ना. ओके, अगेन पीपल आर सेइंग ये करते हैं वो करते हैं. आई विल फिगर इट आउट, आप टेंशन मत लो. आप रिवाइज करो. You actually revise, right? If we have some more time, then we'll do more questions and so on. I'm doing questions for you. आपको मैं PYQs, MCQs करा रही हूँ अनअकैडमी पे फ्री क्लासेस में. आके ज्वाइन कीजिए. हाँ, आके ज्वाइन कीजिए फ्री क्लासेस. ठीक है, हाँ जी, चलो ठीक है. Over break, let's go on. We have 1 hour and 10 minutes and we need to finish 6 units. चलिए, all right. Live in the present. What is being done at present? Try to focus. ठीक है, चलिए चलिए चलिए. हाँ, आप टेंशन मत लो, आप बस फोकस करो. फर्स्ट लेट्स टॉक अबाउट एंडोजीनस एंड एक्सोजीनस अटेंशन. Endogenous and exogenous attention. Can I simply say कि endogenous is what is internally directed, implicitly या explicitly? ये हमारी executive function की वजह से हम direct करते हैं. Internally directed and internally controlled. और top down can be implicit and can be explicit also. It is top down, हम decide करते हैं कहाँ देखना है कहाँ नहीं देखना है. Whereas exogenous is stimulus driven. Can I say stimulus driven? Okay, absolutely. मैम तो हॉस्पिटल से क्लास ले रही हूँ. ओहो अंकिता, अरे गेट बेटर सून. मैम which one was for hormones? There was one for hormone. I am not able to remember. For hormones, it's not EEG. It's not EEG. It's not EEG. Okay, none of these. Jade Tepperman is one of the options over there. Histo something something it's called. It's not EEG. Don't worry about it. चलो गाइज, व्हाट आर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट हियर. हाँ, ये हो गया. ये इतना ही आपको बस कंफर्म करना था. चलिए, हाँ, ये एक्सोजीनस बॉटम अप होगा. ऑलराइट, चलो. After this, what are we going to talk about? Everybody's favorite topic. We will talk about transmarginal inhibition. ट्रांसमार्जिनल इनहिबिशन की बात होगी. इसके स्टेजेस आप मुझे बताएंगे एंड देन आई विल गो अहेड एंड एक्सप्लेन. आई विल गो अहेड एंड राइट, बट आप भी लिख. ठीक है, ओके. देखिए, ट्रांसमार्जिनल इनहिबिशन इज गिवन बाय पाब्लो एंड ही सेज कि हमारी सबकी लिमिट होती है, और जब वो लिमिट क्रॉस होती है, चाहे वो डॉग हो कोई भी हो, टू रेस्पॉन्ड टू स्टिमुलाई, दे स्टार्ट एक्टिंग इन अ टिपिकल फैशन एंड इट स्टार्ट्स विद द इक्विवेलेंट फेज. ठीक है, दिस इज एग्जॉस्शन हो रहा है लेकिन हम फिर भी कर रहे हैं जो हमें करना है. इक्विवेलेंट phase. उसके बाद you have the paradoxical phase and after that you have the ultra paradoxical phase. उसके बाद paradoxical और paradoxical के बाद ultra paradoxical phase. ठीक है. Okay. Now here what all do we keep doing? Equivalent phase में जितना stimulus excitation उतना ही हमारा response. ठीक है. Okay. So response is equivalent to size and nature of stimulus. How is it for paradoxical? Here the quantity is reversed. यहाँ पे small stimulus, large response. Okay? Large stimulus, small response. Lastly, ultra paradoxical में क्या होता है? Negative stimulus we will respond. Aversive stimulus we will respond. Positive stimulus no response. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alright. ठीक है. तो ये आपको हाँ please remember. Please remember. Absolute. Absolute. चलिए. Who gave transmarginal inhibition? Pavlov did. Same Ivan Pavlov from learning classical conditioning? Yes. Absolute. चलिए. इसके बाद what will we do? We'll do partial schedules of reinforcement. A lot of you get confused. I don't know why, लेकिन people do get confused. Partial schedules of reinforcement. Okay? All right. हम strength के हिसाब से इसको लिखेंगे. चलिए. Very, very good. So we will go ahead and start from variable ratio. सबसे strongest variable ratio होता है, उसके बाद fixed ratio. उसके बाद variable interval और उसके बाद fixed interval. Okay? Variable ratio की example है gambling. ओके वी डोंट नो व्हेन वी विल गेट रिवॉर्ड. हमें नहीं पता जितनी बार भी हम कोशिश करें कब रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा, हमें नहीं पता. तो हम और रिस्पॉन्स देते हैं. अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स यहाँ पे वंस द बिहेवियर इज एस्टैब्लिश इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गो एक्सटिंक्ट. ये देखोगे आप ऐसे वेरिएबल रेशियो में कर्व आती है. ओके ऑलराइट ठीक है. Then we have fixed ratio. Fixed ratio is for a fixed number of responses you will go ahead and get a fixed commission or anything. तो shoe salesman को generally जब fixed commission मिलती है, that is fixed ratio. Okay? Yeah, you complete your homework. Every time the third time you complete या 3 homeworks you do, 3 assignments you do, you get a reward. ठीक है? यहाँ पे क्या होता है? It's mostly good, like it's mostly straight. बस थोड़ा सा आप देखेंगे, little we hesitate right after we get the reward. रिवॉर्ड जब हमें मिलता है उसके बाद ही हम थोड़ा सा हेजिटेट करते हैं. देन वी पिक अप आवर परफॉर्मेंस अगेन. ओके उसके बाद वी हैव वेरिएबल इंटरवल. हमेशा याद रखें इंटरवल रेशियो से वीक होता है. इंटरवल शेड्यूल्स आर ऑलवेज वीकर देन रेशियो शेड्यूल्स. Weaker than ratio always, because in ratio the actual response is reinforced. ratio में actual response जो होता है उसको reinforce किया जाता है actual effort को. लेकिन variable interval हो fixed interval हो यहाँ पे हम time को reinforce करते हैं response को नहीं. that is why the difference. ठीक है. तो variable interval when I say, what am I saying? I'm saying something like fishing. आप fishing rod कितनी बार भी डालो, fish को जब मर्जी वो it will basically latch on to it. और whenever you call the customer support, उनकी मर्जी वो उठाएं नहीं उठाएं. तो यहाँ पे steady response मिलता है but not as high as variable ratio. You see यहाँ पे steady response मिलता है. ठीक है. Okay, you will see. लेकिन it's a lot slower when compared to variable ratio. ठीक है. Lastly सबसे weak क्या होता है? Fixed interval. We only show effort. ठीक है. Let us say 4 p.m. every day I am going to reward, or every 2 weeks you are going to get paid. आप काम करो नहीं करो every 30th you get paid. It's like that. Okay. Paid every 2 weeks. ये याद रखो आप, एफर्ट को नहीं, हम 2-2 हफ्तों के बाद वी आर गोइंग अहेड एंड पे. इसका जो होता है कर्व, इसको स्कैलप कहते हैं. ऐसे होता है, ठीक है. द मोमेंट वी रिसीव रिवॉर्ड, उसके बाद पूरी डाउन हो जाती है परफॉर्मेंस. इसको स्कैलप कहा जाता है. ऑलराइट. एब्सोल्युटली गवर्नमेंट जॉब, हाँ जी, समथिंग लाइक दैट. ओके. So this is our topic number 3. Let's go. After this, what do we have? We will talk about क्या कहते हैं इसको, strength of conditioning and classical conditioning. Strongest to weakest. Strongest to weakest. Okay. Then can I say ma'am, in VI consistency also comes na? What consistency? What consistency? All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay, strongest तरह की conditioning क्या होती है classical conditioning में, बताइए. Is it trace conditioning or is it delay conditioning? It is delay conditioning. Okay. Delay conditioning में सबसे strong conditioning होती है, but only short delay. Long delay is not strong at all. Short delay only. Okay, because there's a little bit of an overlap between the conditioned stimulus and the unconditioned stimulus. Ma'am, there was one question we did VR. We did fixed ratio, Vikram. Fixed ratio, not variable ratio. 25,000 kilometer to get a free trip will be fixed ratio. Okay? All right? Go back and check. Delay conditioning के बाद what is next best? Trace conditioning. Your regular conditioning without any overlap. Okay? उसके बाद simultaneous conditioning जो थोड़ी सी weak होती है. Simultaneous conditioning. All right. Okay. Fine. Then after that, what do we have? After that, what do we have? We have backward conditioning, which is highly unlikely to be effective in a few. Taste aversion या pregnancy या cancer के बगैर ये effective नहीं होता है. It has few scenarios where it is effective. ठीक है? Because the unconditioned stimulus is presented first here. Contiguity के लिए हमेशा conditioned stimulus should come first and then unconditioned stimulus should come later. Okay? All right? Fine? ठीक है. Let's go. Let's go. Chaliye. Very important for us to remember this. Then what is the last one we'll talk about? We will talk about source monitoring error. Okay? या false memories. ये last time भी आपको पूछा था. False memories, what are they? How do they come about? See, false memories can also occur through imagination. ठीक है? इसके books में 3 sources दिए हैं. Not imaginal, but imagination. Oh my God, what did I? Okay, all right. All right. Imagination or misattribution, or it can also happen through misinformation. Okay? Through misinformation, what we actually end up developing are reality monitoring errors. Real क्या है, क्या नहीं है, हमें समझ नहीं आता है. Here also we end up creating false memories. Like, I was lost in the mall. बचपन में मॉल में या मेले में घूम हो गए थे, you were lost. Your parents couldn't find you. ये सब, ये fantasies होती हैं, and then we convert them into some kind of memory. हाँ जी. Misattribution का what is the other name? This is also known as a source monitoring error. Source monitoring error. तो इन 3 तरीकों से false memories create हो सकती हैं. Last time they had asked you, they may ask you to elaborate on it this year. ठीक है? अगर वो आपको elaborate करने के लिए कहते हैं, you should be able to do it. You should comfortably be able to do it. Okay? Okay. All right. चलिए. ठीक है, good to go? Hopefully we're good to go. My iced coffee has turned into lukewarm coffee. It's so hot here. How is it everywhere else? Nice weather everywhere else? Nice, not nice. Let's go, ma'am. Okay, Pragati, let's go. Chalo. All right. Okay, fine. चलिए let's talk quickly. Here we actually don't have fully 5 topics because इससे अब उतना नहीं पूछते हैं हाँ, but we'll go ahead and discuss 5 simple topics anyway. So first thing that we talk about is metacognition. Last 2 years they have asked, they may ask again also. What do we have in metacognition? We have metacognitive knowledge and we have metacognitive regulation. I will wait for all of you to tell me इसमें क्या क्या आता है. बोल. We'll only talk about the important parts. Knowledge में क्या क्या आता है? So in metacognitive knowledge, you have declarative knowledge, you have procedural knowledge, declarative knowledge, procedural knowledge, and we also have conditional knowledge. Yeah, conditional knowledge. Yeah, we do. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Then what else do we have in regulation? We have planetary, not planetary, we have planning, we have monitoring, we have controlling also, and we have evaluation. All right? Yeah, absolutely. Abs. Chaliye, great, wonderful, wonderful, absolutely. ठीक है, good to go here. We'll move on. After this, what do we have? We have the past theory. Again, they have asked you last 2 years, they have asked you consistently. ठीक है? We'll discuss a little bit past theory of intelligence. इसमें क्या क्या आता है? A lot of you find it confusing, so we will make our own diagram. ठीक है? So you have the attention unit, attention and arousal unit. पहले attention and arousal आता है. उसके बाद we have the simultaneous and successive processing. After that, what do we have? We also have planning. We also have the planning unit. Now, the thing is, all these 3 units are always interconnected to one another. ठीक है? Simultaneous और serial exchange होता रहता है outer world के साथ भी, and then within the unit also. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Attention and arousal unit is controlled by the brain stem. ये आपके brain का कौन सा हिस्सा control करता है? Brain stem and your ascending reticular activating system. Okay. Simultaneous and successive processing is a lot like sensation and perception. So यहाँ पे you see you have the temporal lobe, you have the parietal lobe. So all of the lobes related to sensation and taking in sensory information. We also have the occipital lobe. Okay, we also have the occipital lobe. Okay, okay, very, very good. Lastly, the planning unit is controlled by the frontal lobe. Okay, okay, frontal lobe obviously is in control of the executive functions and so on. This is a functional model of the brain and this is a functional model of the intelligence. Okay, of intelligence or not of the intelligence. ये functional model है. ये this is your Das, Carr, Naglieri and all of those people, right? Uh, so this is basically the biological approach to intelligence. or biopsychological, you can say. All right? Okay? Hands. Absolutely. This is all you need to remember. It's not as complicated as it looks. Yeah, it's not as complicated as it looks. It's quite a nice theory if you do it properly. OTP? What OTP? What do you want with the OTP? Yes, it is based on Alexander Luria's principles. ओके और ये पास लिखा होता है लेकिन फंक्शनल यूनिट्स का ऑर्डर यही है फर्स्ट यू हैव अटेंशन एंड अराउजल दिस इज द फर्स्ट यूनिट this is the second unit and this is the third unit 3 units only there are no 4 units or anything no matter who tells you what all right in book such deadly chapters are given this is enough if you do so much you're good to go then what else do we have? We will talk about Getzels and Jackson. Okay. So we have done Guilford's theory on intelligence and creativity. We will also talk about Getzels and Jacksons. What did they actually study about creativity? So Getzels was really interested and therefore he said that I will compare जो classroom assignments होते हैं उनके scores I will correlate it with intelligence scores and I will also correlate it with any what do I say creativity test scores ठीक है okay हाँ जी ma'am this comes under cognitive assessment which comes under cognitive assessment प्रगति the theory only comes under cognitive assessment नहीं वो तो cognitive assessment system अलग है ना theory is only cognitive assessment. No, no, not like that. Not like that. So let's try to pay attention here. What did he want to correlate? So he wanted to correlate sort of, what do I say, classroom assignments, yeah, academic success, academic performance वो करना चाहते थे correlate किसके साथ? Creativity as well as intelligence. Okay. He found a nice correlation between intelligence and academic performance also, creativity and academic performance also. But when he correlated creativity and intelligence, he overall found a very low positive correlation. Okay? Low positive correlation, around zero point 0.2 something something. I have mentioned in your notes also, it is I think 0.26 or something. Okay, so ऐसी correlation, very, very small positive correlation. So according to Getzel and Jackson, creativity and intelligence don't have a lot of correlation and they are not necessary for one another. ठीक है ये दोनों एक दूसरे के लिए necessary नहीं है जो आपकी threshold hypothesis है that is based on Guilford's study. Guilford's study, Guilford said that intelligence is necessary for creativity, but it is not sufficient for creativity. Okay, so when you have Getzels and Jackson written here, that is not Guilford. Guilford is a separate person. Guilford's theory is a separate theory. And यहाँ पे he basically said that academic performance or essays allow for creative expression. लेकिन intelligence tests don't allow for creative expression. ये creative expression के लिए allow नहीं करते हैं intelligence tests. Okay, all right. And therefore, therefore what? Therefore, there is a low relationship between intelligence and creativity. Guilford said that intelligence is a superset of creativity or Sternberg. Guilford only. Chali, ठीक है? Okay? All right. Let's. Topic number 3 is done. What is our topic number 4? Topic number 4 is what else do we have? We'll talk about availability and representative heuristic. So a lot of you last year what you had done was for that representative heuristic आपने availability choose किया था. आपने क्या किया था? You had chosen for this for representative heuristic you had chosen availability. Okay? So let's talk about how they are different from one another. Let's talk about it. So in availability heuristic, what happens? The most recent or most sensational information comes to our mind. Okay, and we take a decision based on it. It's like there is another इसमें question here that Mr. A or A takes his father's car, and then unfortunately the car basically gets into an accident, and then he thinks of all of the times, or he remembers the most recent time how his father reacted when he had basically got a scratch on the car or whatever. ठीक है? या न्यूज में जो भी हम हाँ absolutely yes. Availability, we focus on the negative. Here, we focus on the negative only. Both things in stereotypes also. So availability heuristic में आप most sensational या most recent piece of information जो आपके पास है वही आप recollect करेंगे, like airplane crash and so on. ठीक है? क्या होता है? We think that airplane crashes happen more frequently than car crashes. Not true. So we'll write down here क्योंकि news ऐसे ही portray करती है because you have more availability of information about aeroplane crashes. So you believe that it's the opposite of recognition. If you actually look at it, इसको आप अगर compare करेंगे recognition में हम correctly process करते हैं information जो हमें पता है. Here just because we know, we have seen, we think it is more. So we believe airplane crashes are more common than car accidents. Okay? Okay? Fine. Then what would be a representative heuristic? Let's take exactly the example given in that question, last year's question. So we generalize from a specific instance. Okay? Our specific experiences are generalized, over generalized actually. Okay? Okay, in the sense that he said one boy stole his money. Okay, one child in the colony stole. Does he have any reason to believe that all the children in the colony must be thieves? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Do I have any proof to believe कि सारे बच्चे जो हैं कॉलोनी के चोर हैं? नहीं, I don't have any proof, but I am over generalizing क्योंकि हमारा एक experience हो गया यहाँ पे, तो हम उसको over generalize करके we are saying नहीं नहीं everybody is experience and every experience is like this. Okay, so we are basically creating a stereotype out of our single experience. Now remember, in general, stereotypes can be negative as well as positive. Okay, they are still they are still bad decisions. Again, for you to think every man or every woman from so and so place is a nice person is a stereotype. They may hurt you. Absolutely. Now, lastly, we will talk about Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scale, which has been asked twice in the last 2 years. Okay. Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scale, number 4, age ranges 16 to 90. How many subtests does it have? It has 10 subtests and 4 I think are supplementary. So जो हम apply करते हैं सब पे 10 ही हैं. It has 4 subsets. What are the subsets which give us the full scale IQ? हमारे 4 subsets क्या हैं आप बताइए. I'll wait. My hand needs a little bit of a break from writing. Okay. We have the verbal comprehension index. We have the verbal comprehension index. We have the perceptual. Okay. Okay. VCI, PRI ऐसे एग्जाम में भी ऐसे ही लिखना. हाँ. Okay. We have the perceptual reasoning index. We have the working memory index. We also have the processing speed index. Processing speed index. In processing speed, you have some performance component. What is that? And digit span, nahi, what am I writing? Symbol coding. Symbol coding is a performance component here. And in your perceptual reasoning index, you have block design, which is also performance based. बाकी के या तो नॉन वर्बल है या तो वर्बल है, ठीक है. So anything to do with arithmetic, writing, reading and all that obviously is verbal. Similarity is, that is also. हाँ जी, बाकी के क्या है? So this test contains verbal subsets, non-verbal subsets and also performance subtests. Okay, is this an individual test or is this a group test? क्या ये group test है intelligence का या फिर individual test? Object assembly is same as block design. Sort of object assembly has been removed now. Yes. Object assembly नहीं है. अब वो WAIS 3 में था. Why have I written 5 here? It's 4. 4 है guys, 5 नहीं. So this is an individually administered test. It's not a group test. Individually administered test. Chalo, great. Let's go. We are done here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Chaliye. All right, we'll take a 1 minute break and then we'll move on. Meanwhile, you guys can note down and you can tell. Mean is 100 and standard deviation is 15 here. Standard deviation is. Ma'am, my comment. It's not Unacademy. Symbol search is non-verbal. Symbol search is a part of your processing speed index. Okay? All right. Kratika is saying, let's go. We are late. Wait 1 minute. There's not a lot. We'll move quick on afterwards. Chaliye. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Chalo. Let us talk about. First, let us talk about which one should we talk about first. We'll talk about Ising's theory first. Deterministic or not deterministic? Biological determinism. Biological determinism. Absolutely. Chalo, chalo. Ma'am, GF, are second order factors. Hanji, they are second order factors. Yes. Okay. All right. Then what does he talk about? He says that we have 3 super factors. What are the super factors? Super factors are your extroversion, neuroticism, psychoticism. Okay? Penn theory is his theory. Then he also talks about how there is a relationship between psychoticism and creativity. And he also studied IQ and intelligence. Creativity and psychoticism में relationship है, correlation है. Positive correlation. That was Ising only. Then he talks about how there is a type of personality. Type के अंदर there are traits. Traits के अंदर there are habits. And habits के नीचे we have SR relations or specific behaviors. Okay, specific behaviors. He did say extroversion and introversion is genetic or genetically determined. And what did he say about extroverts and introverts? Extroverts और introverts के बारे में इन्होंने क्या कहा? What did he say about extroverts and introverts? Extroverts have low cortical arousal, so they seek it outside. तो बाहर ढूंढते हैं excitement, ठीक है? दुनिया में ढूंढते हैं excitement. एंड जो इंट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं इनका कॉर्टिकल अराउजल हाई होता है. High cortical arousal. Okay, all right. That's why they don't seek out there in the environment. Very, very good. Very, very good. All right. ठीक है. Wonderful. Then let's talk about very, very good. Very, very good. Then let's talk about Yerkes-Dodson law. Yerkes-Dodson law. Can I say inverse U relationship between stress and performance? Okay, all right. But what about easy task? Easy task के लिए कैसा स्ट्रेस होना चाहिए? Moderately challenging task के लिए कैसा स्ट्रेस होना चाहिए? Ideally. And difficult task के लिए कैसा स्ट्रेस होना चाहिए? For easy task, you require high stress to perform well. Okay? For moderately challenging task, you require moderately low or moderately high, so moderate stress. And for difficult task, you require low stress, like your examination. Absolutely. Very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. ठीक है? Okay, great. Let's move on. We are late already. What about Shachter-Singer theory of emotion? Shachter-Singer की जो theory है, वहां पे हम क्या कह सकते हैं? Okay, when they did the epinephrine study, what did they find out? What are the two factors of emotion? Two factors क्या है यहाँ पे? इसको two factor theory हम कहते हैं. One is physiological arousal. Okay, एक है आपका physiological arousal. And another one is what? Another factor is cognitive labeling. तो हम emotion कब experience करते हैं? In the presence or in the absence of clear explanations. Emotions experienced absence of clear explanation. ठीक है? Absence of clues, absence of cues, absence of clear explanations. Environmental clues or cues also play a role. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very good. Very, very good. Is physiological arousal the same for all experiences or is it different? Same for all experiences. Different कौन कहता है? James Land. Okay. All right. Fine. Great. Wonderful. Then what are our motivational conflicts? Motivational conflicts क्या क्या होते हैं? Again, last 3 years they have been asking you, so they will ask this year also. Very, very good. So we have approach, avoidance, and approach avoidance. You can also have multiple approach avoidance. Oh, chali. So let's talk about what's happening. Approach is two goals. Approach avoidance is a single goal. One single goal with positive vector also and negative vector also. Single goal. ठीक है? Maximum vacillation and maximum state of equilibrium. Maximum state of equilibrium is basically confusion state. Equilibrium कोई अच्छी बात नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay, will there be some disequilibrium? Yes, some disequilibrium as well. Vacillation. Okay, all right, ठीक है. Then what do we have? In avoidance, maximum stress. Stress सबसे ज़्यादा. Stress max. We will want to run away from the field. Run away from field. Okay? Lesser state of equilibrium. Lesser vacillation lesser equilibrium when compared to approach avoidance. Approach avoidance, ठीक है. Approach least vacillation, least equilibrium. Will there be equilibrium here also? Yes, but minimum. Okay, all right. हाँ जी, सबसे कम equilibrium, सबसे कम vacillation. All right. Okay. Last topic for unit 7. Okay. All right. Let's go. Topic number 5. What should we do? Which one should we do? So let's talk about self-efficacy by Bandura. They've asked in match the following. They may ask again. Okay. This has 4 components. पहला वाला है performance accomplishment या performance outcomes. Performance outcomes. Vicarious reinforcement. Ma'am, jitna equilibrium utna stress? No, not like that. Okay, all right. Okay. Vicarious experiences. We also have verbal persuasion by others or by self. And lastly, we have emotional arousal or we have physiological arousal. Okay, all right. चलिए. So performance outcomes are कि we want to accomplish something. जब हम कुछ accomplish करते हैं, that is how we build self-efficacy. Self-efficacy का मतलब है belief that I possess the skill that is required to, accomplish a task. ठीक है? Self-belief in possession of a skill required to complete a task. ठीक है कि I can do, वो belief होना. Performance outcome is nothing but performance outcome is nothing but we actually need to accomplish something in life for us to believe कि देखो हाँ we are capable. Verbal persuasion is खुद से भी I need positive auto suggestions and other people also verbally need to encourage me that look you can do it. Vicarious experiences or modeling. Okay, I actually need to be able to observe other people doing well. ठीक है, role model set करना, दूसरों को कुछ मिलना, then I'll think, okay, I also do, then I will also get. Lastly, physiological arousal is actually being in control. Physiological feedback, मतलब आपकी body क्या आपको feedback दे रही है, and then basically how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it and how do you control and regulate your emotions? That's basically what we are talking about here. Okay? Okay, fine. With that, we are done with unit 7. We'll take 2 minutes and then we'll move to unit 8, 9 and 10. We'll try to wrap up by 12:30, 12:30, 12:40. Chalo. Good to go so far. I hope we're understanding and I hope it's not just becoming scrambled eggs in the brain. Yeah, we're understanding. Chalo, अच्छा है. All right, चलिए. So we have unit 8. हाँ जी, चलो ठीक है. We'll take 1 minute break because like I said, I need to write again and my hand needs to, yeah. Thank you, Harsha. Chalo. If your exam gets postponed a little bit, which I actually don't want, I hope they do conduct it on time. If it gets postponed, तो हम फिर से ऐसे classes करेंगे, ठीक है? हाँ जी, चलो ठीक है. All right. Meanwhile, let me know how our Saturday is going. Ma'am, there was a question on confluences and determinants of learning. Consequences and determinants. You want me to explain that here, Shivani? Is this a doubt clearing session? Do you think I have a mind map of all of the questions I asked? सोच के बात किया करो यार. Think and say something. You have 2 doubt clearing sessions in the day. You can send it for doubt clearing. You can get it clarified over there. This is a revision class of 50 topics. Why will I suddenly talk about something, anything? क्या यार? You think and you talk. Ma'am, does physiological arousal relate to rush of happy hormones if we do observed act? No, no, not like that. Not like that. See, the thing is, here you get physiological feedback whenever you're 10. है ना? Okay, Jyoti. Do we get physiological feedback whenever we are nervous, whenever we are upset? तो उसको calm करना will also add to our self-efficacy. See, the thing is that if I think I'm capable of something, that means I'm willing to deal with the stress, the physiological arousal that comes with it as well. आपको अपनी body continuously feedback देती है. How do you use it to your best use, or how do you use it to your best ability? That it's not about rush of happy hormones always. Not always get rush of happy hormones. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to unit number 8. Okay. Sources से पता चला. Okay, Harsha. Thank you for. मैम JRF होती है आपको मिठाई खिलाने आएंगे. Okay. All right. चलिए. चलिए. I will be waiting. चलो. Now we talk about social psychology. First, we will talk about the elaboration likelihood model. Very, very easy. You just don't have to be scared of this. ठीक है? ये आपको last 3 years में continuously पूछा है in match the following in one way or another. Elaboration likelihood model. What do we do here? कि ये किस चीज का model है? It's a model of persuasion. Right? It is a model of persuasion. Persuasion में क्या करते हैं? We have 2 routes, so we have 2 routes. One is the central route and another one is the peripheral route. है ना? 2 तरीके हैं लोगों को convince करने के, लोगों को persuade करने के. You have the central route and you have the peripheral route. Now, in the central route, you will do systematic processing of information, whereas in the peripheral route, you will do heuristic processing. You will do heuristic processing. ठीक है? Okay? All right. Wonderful. Then, what do you think will result in the central route? Central route में आपकी audience motivated होती है. In the peripheral route, your audience is not motivated. आप नहीं, आपकी audience. So, I'll write that down here as well. And then finally, which has better chances of long-term attitude change? Long-term change we will see through central route. And we may see a short-term change through the peripheral route. Okay, all right, fine. ठीक है, fine, great, wonderful. After that, what do we have? We will talk about realistic group conflict. ये भी आपको 2-3 बार पूछा है. Match the following में. They might give a full question on it next year. Now, realistic group conflict is a theory by Muzaffar Sharif. Muzaffar Sharif की theory है. Okay, all right, wonderful. What is it about? It is about prejudice. It's about stereotypes. It's about group. क्या कहते हैं इसको? It's about group identity. It's about all of those things, and all of that happens through situational cooperation and competition. मतलब हम create करते हैं due to the scarcity of resources. We can create situational either cooperation between people या competition between people. That's the essence of this theory. Theory की essence वही है. मतलब अगर हम limited resources दें लोगों को तो वो उसी पे या तो लड़ सकते हैं या तो एक साथ होके काम कर सकते हैं. Okay? Scarcity of resources. तो इससे हमें पता चलता है कि कंपटीशन और कोऑपरेशन दोनों सिचुएशनल हैं. आप याद कीजिए what was this? हाँ जी, what was this theory? Can I say also prejudice can be created through cooperation or competition? इससे हम competition से हम prejudice भी create कर सकते हैं due to scarcity of resources? Absolutely, absolutely. So what do we do here? पहले हम 2 groups, we took 2 groups of boys. पहले हफ्ते में we got them to become friends with one another. Okay, कौन से? इन ग्रुप की हमने दोस्ती कराई, वी बिल्ट अ स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड बिटवीन ओनली द ईगल्स की एक दूसरे के साथ, और जो रैटलर्स थे उनकी एक दूसरे के साथ. एंड द नेक्स्ट वीक वी मेड देम फाइट विद ईच अदर, इन द सेंस वी मेड देम compete, so they ended up really hostile and built a lot of prejudice and showed a lot of discrimination. बाद में we gave them super ordinate goals. ठीक है, हमने सुपर ऑर्डिनेट गोल्स दिए जिससे हमने कोऑपरेशन क्रिएट किया. ठीक है, दैट्स इट. इशू इज बैक फ्रॉम अ नैप. चलो गाइस, फोकस करो. What is topic number 3? What are principles of persuasion? We'll not talk about Robert Cialdini. We'll talk about reciprocity. We'll talk about this and that, because उस पे आपको last 2 years they have been asking. And they will ask this year also, possibly they will ask. So I will write down and you will tell me. There is reciprocity, there is consistency, there is scarcity, and there is liking. इन पे क्या क्या टेक्निक्स बेस्ड हैं बताइए. कौन सी पर्सुएशन टेक्निक्स इन पे बेस्ड है, या कंप्लायंस टेक्निक्स इन पे कौन कौन सी बेस्ड हैं बताइए. रेसिप्रोसिटी आई हैव reciprocity I have what? For reciprocity I have a door in the face. Door in the face. I also have that's not all. That's not all. I also have high ball. हाई बॉल में जहां हम बार्गेनिंग करने देते हैं, पहले हम हाई प्राइस रखते हैं. कंसिस्टेंसी और कमिटमेंट बोथ आर सेम. तो यहाँ पे वी हैव फुट इन द डोर. ओके, वी हैव फुट इन द डोर. देन व्हाट डू वी हैव? We also have low ball. Okay. Scarcity में we have hard to get, playing hard to get, and we have deadline technique. Okay. Liking में we have ingratiation. ऐसे. हाँ जी, absolutely. Very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. चलो ठीक है. Very, very good. चलिए. All right. Then we will also talk about decision stage model of helping. Again, they have asked multiple times. Decision stage model. बताइए decision stage model में क्या होता है? We have 5 steps. What is our first step? First step is to notice the event. Okay, we either notice or we don't notice. Okay, please keep typing. Very, very good. I'll keep writing here so that you have the whole model in the single page. All right. So first we have to notice the event, and जो आप green में देख रहे हैं, here we will not help. ठीक है? यहाँ पे हम help नहीं करेंगे if we fail at any of the steps. तो आप देख रहे हो, this is step number 1. If we succeed, we have noticed the event. In step number 2, what will we do? We will perceive it as an emergency. Okay. Step 3 में हम responsibility लेंगे. स्टेप 4 में क्या करेंगे? इन स्टेप 4 वी हैव द कंपिटेंस टू हेल्प. हमें पता है क्या करना है. एंड इन स्टेप 5 वी वे प्रोज एंड कॉन्स. प्रोज ऑफ हेल्पिंग आर मोर. So finally, I will go ahead and help. Okay? All right. So let's label the steps. Let me know if you're understanding what I have written down here. Again, pluralistic ignorance step 2 पे possible है when we don't notice the event as an emergency. Okay? Step number 2 पे when we don't perceive the event as an emergency, that is when we will show pluralistic ignorance. क्योंकि बाकी ignore कर रहे हैं, मैं भी ignore करूं. Diffusion of responsibility या bystander apathy कहाँ पे होता है step number 3 पे when we fail to take responsibility for what is happening, for the event that is taking place. Competences, I should have the skill to help. नहीं है skill तो नहीं help करेंगे. Last stage, I will want to check whether or not basically it's good for me. Pros क्या है help करने के और cons क्या है. If it's too dangerous for me to help, then I will not. Okay? Darley and Latine की theory है ये, very very important. Darley and Latine have also given principles of social influence. Right? क्या है वो? Majority of the majority नहीं. Strength of majority, immediacy to minority, and then the size of the majority. Strength, size, and immediacy. Darley and Latine. What is our topic number 5? Topic number 5 is mere exposure by Zeanche. Mere exposure, does it talk about familiarity? Familiarity making us like something? Familiarity brings likeness and attitude change. Brings attitude change, right? Is this change conscious or unconscious? This change is unconscious. The more familiar we are something, the more exposure we have to something, the more we are bound to like it. और ये unconscious attitude change होती है. Oh, all right. चलो ठीक है. Okay, we are done with unit 8 also. Now we have unit 9 and unit 10. Chaliye, we'll take another 1 to 2 minute break. And then, ma'am, let us type, please. Okay, you want to type on the screen? You type in the comments and type really, really quickly. You have to be really, really quick. If I wait for you, we'll be sitting here till probably like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You have another class at 3 o'clock. 3 बजे आपका एक doubt clearing session है, and then you have another doubt clearing session at 5:30. Ma'am, how's the weather at your place? It's very hot, yeah. They took away our electricity also. What should I say? I cannot say anything. Chalo, ठीक है. We'll go ahead. We'll move on. We will go to unit 9. Okay? Hanji. First of all, we'll talk about Erickson's virtues and Erickson's stages of development. We'll not talk about the conflict. Stages की बात हम करेंगे, and we will also discuss virtues. Okay? So what are his stages? Stages are oral sensory, anal muscular, locomotor genital, then we have latency, then we have the genital stage, he calls it adolescence, and then we have adult. Okay? Absolutely. Very, very good. Then let's talk about the virtues. Trust versus mistrust में क्या develop होता है? We develop hope. Hope के बाद we have will in what is it called? Autonomy versus shame and doubt. Will के बाद you have purpose in initiative versus guilt. Okay? उसके बाद in industry versus inferiority, we develop a sense of competence. उसके बाद in fidelity, in identity versus role confusion, we develop loyalty or fidelity. Okay. उसके बाद intimacy versus isolation, we develop love. उसके बाद generativity versus stagnation, we develop care. And lastly, we develop wisdom. Integrity versus despair. Very, very good. Very, very good. All right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Chalo, theek. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Then what do we have for topic number 2? Let's talk about what happens in Yuri Bronfenbrenner's theory. So we have the micro system, first of all, जहाँ पे हमारी immediate family होती है, okay, and our school and all that. फिर meso system, जहाँ पे basically हमारे micro systems interact करते हैं. Our teachers might interact with our parents, our, micro systems interact. Parent teacher meetings, your parents' colleagues, their children might become your friends, and so on. Then you have the exosystem. Exosystem, where you do not have any direct influence, but you have the laws and rules and all of that, जहाँ पे आपके indirect influences आपको affect करते हैं. All right? Then lastly, you have the macro system, जहाँ आपका culture and बाकी चीजें होती हैं. Culture, society and बाकी चीजें. Okay? और ये सारा कुछ एक टाइम फ्रेम में होता है, उसको हम क्रोनो सिस्टम कहते हैं. All of this happens within a time frame, which is known as the chrono system. All right. How to solve questions related to statistics? Please join Unacademy and watch the full course on research. ठीक है? Free classes भी काफी सारे हैं. Everything cannot be done on YouTube. Unacademy is where I take most of my classes. Free classes भी काफी सारे हैं. Go explore. जाके देख लीजिए. Okay. Okay. All right. ठीक है. Good to go? Good to go? चलिए. Then topic number 3 is, what is that topic number 3? कहाँ गया ये? We will talk about multicultural counseling. Should we talk about? Okay, let's talk about third wave therapies. Topic number 3 is third wave cognitive therapies. Okay. All right. Can I say they are more focused on cognition, or are they more focused on helping with behavioral change? Absolutely, they focus on mindfulness, they focus on long-term change, and they focus more on behavioral change than on cognitive change. ठीक है? ये integrate करते हैं, integrate wave 1 and 2. Okay? Focus is more on long-term behavioral change. Use the principles of mindfulness, yoga, and this generally includes multiple training programs. ठीक है? And one more thing that third wave cognitive therapies do is they say discomfort या thoughts that are unpleasant are okay. Accepting unpleasant. All right, great. चलिए. Then let's go ahead and talk about James Marcia's theory. Let's go ahead and talk about James Marcia's theory. They've asked many times before. Highly likely that they will ask this time. Okay. Now, can I say that this is particularly a theory of adolescent development? क्या ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि ये particularly adolescents के लिए ही है ये theory? Yes, it is particularly for adolescents, and this talks about the identity formation stage which most people go through. They go through 4 stages. Yes. It starts with, ये correct order है guys. Identity diffusion से हम start करते हैं. Okay. हाँ जी. We move towards foreclosure, identity foreclosure, without deciding or without exploring anything. We go ahead and decide. उसके बाद we go to a stage of moratorium. And lastly, what do we do? Lastly, after moratorium, we achieve our identity. So identity achievement. Don't confuse this with Erickson's theory. It's not the same theory, even though it may sound similar. तो यहाँ पे crisis कहाँ है कहाँ नहीं है वो important है, ठीक है? What is most important here is where is there no crisis and where is there crisis, right? Where is there exploration and where is there no exploration? Can I say यहाँ दोनों में exploration नहीं है? No exploration, therefore no crisis. Here there is high exploration, therefore crisis also, which has been solved in identity achievement. High exploration, therefore there is crisis. Okay. Then what do we have? In moratorium, we are still confused. We have not reached our identity. Yes. So is there, okay, there is exploration. Then here is there commitment. Moratorium में commitment नहीं है. अभी commitment नहीं है. Foreclosure में there is high commitment without any exploration. Identity diffusion में again no commitment, no exploration also. This person is least bothered about life in general. Lastly, identity achievement में there is high commitment. Okay, absolutely. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. ठीक. चलिए. So, हाँ. Topic number 5. Let's talk about Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and let's also talk about Parkinson's. इन तीनों पे questions आते रहते हैं. Last 3 years they have asked you. Okay, are all of them dementias? क्या ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि पूरे तीनों dementias हैं? They are dementias. Okay, but first thing that happens in Alzheimer's is extreme memory loss and decline of cognitive functions. ठीक है, overall decline of cognitive functions. Orientation नहीं होती है ठीक से, in the sense time, visual spatial organization gets messed up. Okay, then what about in Huntington's? There is HTT gene, can I say? And remember, this can happen to young people as well. Young also, but not only. Okay? These are old age disorders, otherwise dementias. ठीक है? But HTT gene जो है dominant gene है, therefore ये 20-year-olds को भी हो सकता है. But it's not particularly a disease of young people. Dementias by default are supposed to happen in older people. Okay. All right. Very, very good. Now here loss of neurons in striatum. Loss of neurons कहाँ पे? Striatum. क्यों होता है? Can I say glutamate बहुत ज्यादा होता है यहाँ पे? Excess glutamate leads to excitotoxicity. Excitotoxicity. ठीक है? Another thing that happens here is यहाँ पे motor deficits भी होते हैं, cognitive deficits भी होते हैं. Motor deficits also plus cognitive deficits. दोनों चीजें होती हैं. Do we have any motor deficits in Alzheimer's? No. क्या Alzheimer's में कोई motor deficit होता है? No. Not until very, very late. Here we have two very, very clear symptoms in Alzheimer's. You have your neurofibrillary tangles. Which are formed from beta amyloid, नहीं, tau protein tangles होते हैं. Tau protein tangles and beta amyloid plaques. Okay, these are also known as senile plaques. All right, okay, fine. What happens primarily in Parkinson's? Parkinson's is also a dementia, obviously, लेकिन ये ज्यादा motor disorder है. Motor disorder, movement disorder. Motor memories are lost. First, पहले क्या लॉस होता है? मोटर मेमोरी का लॉस होता है. ओके. देन ट्रेमर्स, gait, pill rolling movement, involuntary movement. Okay. Tics and all that. Okay. Posture disturb हो गया होता है. So here first we see movement related disturbances later. Cognitive disturbances appear much later. Okay. All right. Very, very good. First motor, then later cognitive deficits. What's the major problem here? Is it loss of dopamine? सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे होती है कि सब्सटेंशिया नाइग्रा को डिस्ट्रॉय किया जाता है. सब्सटेंशिया नाइग्रा is destroyed. Alright, substantia nigra is destroyed and therefore dopamine is lost. Can I say in Alzheimer's there is a deficit of glutamate? Deficit of glutamate and ACH. Chaliye, that for you is an overview of Alzheimer's, Huntington's as well as Parkinson's. चलो ठीक है. Absolutely, absolutely. Good to go? Good to go? चलिए ठीक. Let's go. All right. Lastly, Unit 10, emerging areas. I will type lesser. You guys will tell me more. Let's quickly finish up. Chaliye. So in Unit 10, where have I written? Chal, I've written it down. Chal. So let's talk about what happens in what type of poverty is there. Poverty के अलग-अलग types बताइए आप. I will just write down. You will tell me the explanation. So we have absolute poverty. We have relative poverty. We have situational poverty. And we have generational poverty. Okay? Okay. All right. Generational is difficult to get out of. Due to disaster or divorce situation की वजह से होता है. Relative is in comparison, or only in comparison to society. Of society. And absolute is lack of basic survival needs. Lack of meeting survival needs. Food and things like that. Don't say job. Then there is also something known as a poverty gap. This is the ratio of people living below the poverty line. ये poverty line है, इसके नीचे लोग रहते हैं. So it's the number of people, या ratio of people living below the poverty line. Living below poverty. All right. Okay. Great. Absolutely. Ma'am, divorce से poverty अजीब लग रहा है ना? So a lot of women here who depend on the husband for, what do I say? Their to take care of them, to meet their basic needs in terms of monetary needs. Once they get divorced, then what happens is they don't, the husband won't pay the alimony and stuff, and then the woman will end up in poverty. ऐसा है, ठीक है? Or loss of the husband, let's say death of the family member who's earning and stuff like that. Chaliye. Number two, we will talk about, what should we talk about? We will talk about abuse. Signs of abuse. बताइए. Signs of sexual abuse we'll talk about. What did we say? आप बताइए क्या क्या होता है. I will wait. You guys tell me because my hand hurts to all of the writing. Okay, absolutely. UTIs, urinary tract infections, abdominal pain, stomach ache. Okay, then what else? इंजरी तो है ही but nightmares, yes. Nightmares, change, drastic changes in behavior. Okay, bedwetting. Okay, physical signs is there. Bedwetting, nightmares, abdominal pain, UTIs, change in behavior. Sort of what do I say? Inappropriate behavior. Inappropriate behavior. Also signs of PTSD and stuff like that sometimes. Then you also have react. What is that? Reactive attachment disorder. तो वो यहाँ पे related होंगे. Reactive attachment disorder. Or what is the disinhibited disengagement disorder? Disinhibited disinhibited engagement disorder. Again, it's not compulsory that all children going through will show these two disorders, but बाकी के signs you will always see. बाकी के signs you will always see. हाँ, चलो, reactive attachment disorder. These are possible. Okay, apart from that, we will also talk about internet addiction. All right, what are the different types of internet addiction? Internet addiction के types बताइए. And then we will talk about the relapse cycle also. So in the relapse cycle, what do? We start with rationalization. Then we start to feel regret. Then we abstain or we stay away from it. And lastly, we relapse. बताइए, what are the 5 types of internet addiction? Okay, internet gaming disorder या internet gaming addiction है. Okay, then there is shopping. हाँ, okay. There is compulsive information seeking. Compulsive information seeking. And what is internet addiction? I think it's greater than 6 hours of non-productive usage of internet. 6 था कि 8 था? इंटरनेट एडिक्शन में आप स्टॉकिंग करोगे? अरे नहीं, नॉट लाइक दैट. नॉट लाइक दैट. कंपल्सिव इंफॉर्मेशन, ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग एडिक्शन या इंटरनेट शॉपिंग एडिक्शन. 5 types are there. Okay. Online relationship addiction. And cyber pornography addiction. That's what I remember. 6 are there. Okay. Cyber pornography addiction. ठीक है? These are your various addictions. These are diagnosable disorders under addictive disorders. चलिए, last 2 topics. What do I have over here? We have cyberbullying. ठीक है? Cyberbullying है हमारे पास और we'll actually not cyberbullying. We'll talk about online disinhibition. I feel like उस पे question आ सकता है. I have a bunch of topics written here. अब तो सब स्क्रीन से एवर्जन हो गया मैम. क्यों, अब क्या हुआ? Okay, let's talk about online disinhibition by Sula. Okay, all right. What are its 6 components? We have, first of all, we have dissociative anonymity. Okay, all right. You guys tell. You guys tell. I'm sort of tired of the writing. Okay, okay. All right, what's next? Tell me in the correct order, guys. हाँ जी, पीडीएफ आपके साथ शेयर होगा, अभी आप फोकस करो. टेल मी इन द करेक्ट ऑर्डर. You don't talk about nullified hierarchy. अरे वो लास्ट है. Hierarchy negation is last. Okay, invisibility. Invisibility. Asynchronity. Asynchronity. Solipsistic introjection. Okay. There's another one also. There is another one also in addition to solipsistic interjection. और एक भी है. और एक भी है. What is that? Except for hierarchy negation also. Dissociative imagination. Dissociative imagination. Lastly, hierarchies negation. Hierarchies negation. All right. Okay. Here itself, we'll talk about cyberbullying also. Cyberbullying में क्या क्या आता है? There is flaming, there is denigration, there's stalking, but there is also isolation. क्या? Role of bystander is lesser. Bystander का role यहाँ पे कम होता है in comparison to normal bullying. Okay, and there is more chances of what do I say? Victim reporting because there is proof. यहाँ पे tangible proof होता है. And then the victim doesn't have any escape. ठीक है? क्योंकि घर पे भी bullying होती है because everywhere they are follow. ठीक है? मैम इसका सीक्वेंस होगा क्या? हाँ जी, जो आपको क्लास के नोट्स में दिया है वही करेक्ट सीक्वेंस है, वो फॉलो करना फॉर ऑनलाइन डिसइनहिबिशन. सो हियर देयर इज पावर डिस्पैरिटी. ओके, ऑलराइट, ठीक है. चलिए, ऑलराइट, ग्रेट. लेट अस टॉक लास्टली अबाउट पीस साइकोलॉजी. Peace psychology, and then we are done. So in peace psychology, there can be negative peace and there can be positive peace. Negative and positive peace. So negative peace basically means peace without justice. Okay? After there is violence, we say, हाँ हाँ ठीक है, cease fire करो, just stop it. Peace without justice, क्योंकि violence फिर से हो सकती है. We are not changing the root cause of violence. Okay? Whereas in positive peace, we try to change the structures responsible for violence. Okay? We try to change the structures which are responsible for violence. Therefore, bringing long-term peace, therefore bringing long-term justice. Okay? So where will the chance of violence occurring again be lesser? कहाँ पे यहाँ पे violence नहीं होगा फिर से? यहाँ पे कहाँ violence नहीं होगा फिर से? Yes, we may change the constitution, we may change laws and rules which are unjust. तो पॉजिटिव पीस में पूरा सिस्टम जो है वो ट्रांसफॉर्म होगा. लेस चांसेस ऑफ रिपीटेड वायलेंस, लेस चांसेस ऑफ रिकरेंट या रिकरिंग वायलेंस. ठीक है? वेयर एज नेगेटिव पीस में फिर से होगा वायलेंस. इट्स लाइक योर सिबलिंग फाइटिंग एंड योर पेरेंट सेइंग डोंट फाइट, डोंट फाइट. लेटर यू फाइट एनीवे. पॉजिटिव पीस इज टू एड्रेस कि क्यों हुई लड़ाई, क्या हुआ, लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉर्ट इट आउट. Okay, with that, I've sort of lost my voice. And with that, we have completed revision of 50 most important topics. If we get a chance to do this again, let's do it again if we can. Okay? Chaliye. With that, we are done for the day. If you want to subscribe to my classes and learn a lot more from me, this is definitely not all. Then you can go ahead and use the code Hafsa Live and go ahead and subscribe. Whether you want to take Plus or Iconic is up to you. Lastly, this is it from me. Thank you so much for learning with me. I hope you learned something today. I had a great time talking to all of you. See you all at 3 p.m. on Unacademy. Next Saturday, there will not be a class because next Saturday is Eid. If your exam date gets changed, then I'll see. I might do a strategy class here. I will keep you updated. Bye bye. Bye, guys. Bye. I'm ending the class. Bye bye.